Okay, hello everybody. My name is Camila Cole. I work with the Dean's Office, Dean Udoka, in the CAU School of Business. And we are so excited to have AT&T here with us. Miss LaVon Wilson has been so instrumental in helping to facilitate these sessions. And today we have a really special guest, Mr. Mitch Faber, who I just found out is also from, well, not from Atlanta, but he claims 20 years in Atlanta. So I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to turn it over to LaVon to introduce him a little bit further. And I think this is going to be a great session. Students, if you have questions, please hold on to them. You can either put them in the chat or wait until the end, and we'll definitely have time for some Q&A at the end. All right.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you all had a great break. Last semester, we had some really great sessions. We had Pete Johnson talking about kind of his analytics area and kind of effective communication. We had Rudy, which he just was phenomenal. He talked about careers. We had Amber, we had Seth talking about interviewing and resume building. And so this semester, we're going to take a little bit of a different spin. We're going to be talking about more so careers at AT&T, and we'll be talking about marketing this semester. We'll be talking about strategy and analytics. So we want to kick it off this year with Mitch Faber, who is our VP in wireless marketing. I've had the opportunity to work with Mitch, and he is phenomenal. He's got a lot in store for you. So please feel free to jot down your questions, just take it all in, and I hope you enjoy. Mitch.
Thank you so much, Camila. Thanks, LaVon. Good to virtually meet and talk with everyone this afternoon, coming up on afternoon on the East Coast. But yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to spend a few minutes with everyone. Really just going to talk a little bit about my background and my experience, and then share some things that have helped me along the way that hopefully some of you can glean something from, and it'll help you as well as you're getting ready to start your careers or underway on your careers. So appreciate you all having me this morning. Look forward to the discussion. So just a little bit about me. LaVon mentioned I'm currently Vice President of Wireless Marketing for AT&T. I am responsible for acquisition, so acquiring new customers, ensuring we get the volume of customers that we're planning for from our promotions and our go-to-market messaging. I'm also responsible for retention, which ensures that our existing customers stay with us as long as possible. And that entails a lot of base marketing and base communications. So all of those things are currently under my responsibility. I've been in the wireless industry for 25 years. Hard to imagine, time really flies. I have been with AT&T for about 25 years as well. And I've had 15 different roles in AT&T. It's hard to imagine. I've been through 3 different mergers, and I've moved myself and my family 3 different times. Most recently, we did move from Georgia. We lived in Atlanta, and we moved to the West Coast here in California. We're living in Manhattan Beach, California. It was a big move for the family, but we'll talk about that a little bit more as I get underway and some of my kind of tips. But we've really enjoyed it so far, and we're really enjoying the California lifestyle. It's a bit different than the East Coast, but better than we thought we would like. It is a big move, but we are really enjoying it. I've had experience on the consumer side and the business side. I've managed our postpaid wireless service and our prepaid service. I've also had an opportunity to work with some of our other products, like video and broadband services, but mostly in the wireless industry. A lot of my career has been in pricing and promotions, so a lot of financial work on the marketing side and developing our pricing, which drives our revenues and our margins and our subscriber growth. Also, LaVon talked about it, strategy and analytics. You had a chance, it sounds like, to talk to Pete Johnson. I used to work very closely with him on our analytics side of the business. A lot of planning and forecasting, product management, sales reporting, and also I mentioned 3 mergers. a lot of work on merger transition. So I've tried to gain a variety of experience, but focused in marketing, but a broad enough experience across the marketing realm, which can be very, very broad. But I started my career in a call center as a customer service representative. And that was many, many years ago, but it was one of the best experiences I've had. Had a chance to talk directly with customers, learn about our services, our products, and just interacting with different groups and different customers. So it was a great opportunity to get my foot in a growing industry and a growing company with Bell South Mobility prior to us merging a few times and then ultimately becoming AT&T Wireless. But I look back on that opportunity a lot, and I reflect on what I learned there, and then I still use those skills today. But we'll talk a little bit more about that in the coming moments here. But today, I manage a team of over 100 marketers from, again, promotions. So they are strategic and creative. They also have good financial acumen because we invest in our promotions. I also have a very creative team that comes up with all of our messaging as we go customer facing in media or other communications. I manage that team as well. So it is a pretty broad group from acquisition to retention, based marketing, communications. And so it's really enjoyable because I get to work on a lot of different things throughout my day, and I get to work with a lot of different people. I studied at the University of Florida, marketing and economics, and I got my master's, like many of you are going through now, at Florida Atlantic. So I grew up in Florida, lived there for many years, then ultimately moved to Atlanta through Bell South Mobility, my company. So that's a little bit about me and some background. We can go into, I wanted to try to give you all an idea of some of the work that we produced. And so the next slide can give you an idea of not the planning phase of it, not all the work behind the scenes, but really more the consumer facing messages and offers that we put in the marketplace. So Lavon's trying to get the presentation working here, but
it's for some reason. There we go.
There we go.
It freezes.
Okay. No problem. We're flexible here. So you can see this is some of the customer facing messaging that we put in the market. So I think many of you, if you see our commercials, are familiar with Lily. She's currently our spokesperson for AT&T across many of our products, particularly wireless. You can see on the upper left-hand corner, AT&T 5G, fast, reliable, and secure. So we're responsible for our network messaging. 5G is a big technology evolution for the industry as well as AT&T. And how do we bring that to life for consumers to understand what that means? On the bottom left is our unlimited plans. So it's something that we launched called Unlimited Your Way. It gives customers the ability to choose different unlimited plans based on the needs of their families, right? Each plan comes with slightly different features and functionality. Some may have mobile hotspots, some may have HBO Max, mobile security, other enhanced features. Some may not have any of those features at a lower price. And so customers can choose the best plan that works for every individual in their family. And you can see how we tried to bring that to life on our AT&T.com website. If you scroll over to the right on the bottom, you can see a big offer that we have in marketplace today, one that myself and my team are really proud of. It's everyone can get get our best deal, right? Everyone can get our best deal. And what that means is in the industry, usually we treat new customers, so customers that may switch from another carrier, even better than an existing customer. Well, looking at that, I obviously manage acquisition and retention, as I mentioned. That may not be the best strategy to treat your existing customers to a less extent than you do new customers. And so we flipped that model. We changed the industry, right? And we said, that didn't seem right to us. We think everyone should get our best deal. And so now we treat new customers the same as existing customers. Existing customers can get all the great deals that new customers can get. Exactly. And that's been a really well-received offer that we put in market middle to late last year, and something, my team is really excited about seeing the results. Because everything we put in market, we go measure how the message resonates with the audience, how our results are doing from new customer growth, existing customer retention. We have to measure everything to understand how it's performing in the marketplace. And then you see a couple other offers on the top right. Get an iPhone 12 as low as $0, or get the new Samsung Galaxy S21 for free. These are all marketing pieces and messages and offers that my team worked on. And again, this is just the end result. There's a ton of work that goes on to get us to this point. And so y'all may have some questions. I'm happy to take those as we go, or we can wait till the end, I think is what the plan is. But I wanted to try to just give you an idea of how we bring some of these offers to light from a marketing standpoint for our customers. Okay. We can go to the next slide, Lamont, if we're not frozen again. So on the next slide, I'm just going to talk while Lavon's getting it. Oh, here we go. So what are some things that I've learned over 25 years? It's hard to imagine, time flies. That's certainly one thing I realized. But I wanted to share some of the things that have helped me along the way achieve different levels of success, right? And learn a lot of things. And the first is plan and manage your career. And what I mean by that is, it's up to each of us to manage our career. As we start with a company, where do we want to go with the company? What are our goals and expectations of ourselves? And then how can others help us get there? But it's up to each of us to plan and manage our career. We all have supervisors, we all have coworkers, but they're not going to sit down every day and think about your career per se. They will help you. They will help you plan your career if you have questions, but it's really up to each individual to manage their own career and achieve exactly what they want and as much as they want out of their career. And a couple points underneath is, and I mentioned this just as we're presenting today, but be flexible, right? You always have to be flexible. And I think, this virtual discussion, you guys are kind of living this with COVID-19 and the pandemic, homeschooling, a lot of virtual homeschooling, and you've had to adjust and adapt to be flexible. Even before that, in the business world, just like in everyday life, everybody has to be flexible. So plan your career, but that doesn't mean it's set in stone. You can change along the way. You can learn new things. Your ideas and thoughts and goals may change along the way as your life changes. And that's okay. But always have a plan and always try to be flexible. I'll give an example. Like I mentioned, I moved 3 times. Maybe before I was starting my career, I was fortunate, or maybe not, to live in the same place, right? I grew up in the same place in South Florida. I didn't move a lot like maybe some other families. Maybe I didn't expose myself to as many things as I could have. And so I was thinking, well, maybe that'd be good. I want to raise my family, live in one place. But then I was flexible. I wound up moving 3 times. We moved from South Florida to North Florida for a career opportunity right after I was married. We quickly moved to Atlanta right after I had my son, and did get to raise my son in Atlanta. And as he finished high school, I had another opportunity. And so we moved here to California in the West Coast. I would have never imagined living in California growing up in Florida, but here I am. And it was all because I was open-minded and flexible. So I think that's important. That doesn't mean it's right for everyone. You don't have to move to be successful or gain new opportunities. It could help along the way. It really depends on the company. But now with virtual working and virtual schooling, I think that's going to take down some of those traditional thoughts of everybody has to be in the same location or everybody has to relocate for a new opportunity. But it did grant me some great experiences, and we've enjoyed every move that we made. In fact, every time we had to move again, we were really sad. So we were scared initially to move. Once you get settled in, you really like it. And then you're kind of upset you have to move again. And then it kind of starts over again. So it's a really good experience. And that's the second thing, is just build experiences, not only, in your life and personal, but within your career. You want to be known for something in your career, but you also don't want to be known for only one thing. And so I'll give an example again. When I started in marketing, I did pricing, a lot of financial work there, developing our pricing, making sure our revenues and our margins and our acquisition volumes were there based on our pricing. We're in an industry that's very, very competitive, but it was very financially driven, but also required some marketing expertise and skills. But it was kind of like a quasi marketing role. It was finance and marketing, right? And over time, I built up a lot of experience in that. In fact, I would say I built up maybe too much experience, and don't take that the wrong way, but I became known as the pricing guy. Mitch is the pricing guy, but I knew I wanted to be more than that. I wanted to have a much broader marketing career. And so I had to change some of the things that I did. I had to gain new experiences. I had to expand outside of pricing only and prove that I can do other things, not only to myself, but to others in the company. And I've expanded my marketing experience to the point now where I lead all of wireless marketing, from acquisition, retention, base communications, and go to market. And so I think that's really important, to build different experiences. I chose to build experiences in a functional area like marketing, because I knew that's really where I wanted to focus my career. But you can also build experiences around other areas, like maybe operations. You can get some marketing, you can get some analytics, you can get some sales, and then you're really well-rounded across many different facets of the business. And a lot of people are successful in that fashion. Just like I ran into a trap of gaining maybe too much experience in pricing or being known as the pricing guy. People can get too much broad experience, and then they're really not known for anything. They just kind of bounce around and do different things. They're great leaders, but they haven't built deep experiences in certain areas. And again, that's okay in some instances. It really just depends on the opportunity and what you're looking to get out of your career. And so overall, building your brand, again, what are you known for? But don't make that the only thing you're known for, right? You should be known for something, but not the only thing, right? You need to make sure people know you as really broad experience and not just one thing, like I mentioned, may have happened to me. So that's number one: plan, manage your career, and be flexible. And that goes hand in hand with number two. Really important is building relationships and team culture. And you see a couple subpoints there: be helpful. So what I mean by that is, as you're building relationships, the way you get to know people is working with them and helping them with a problem that they have, right? If they work in a different group, they may not know as much as you know about a certain area. Try to help them and educate them. They'll come back to you. And then when you need something, you can go to them, right? Or if there's an opportunity that comes available in their group, they may think of you and say, hey, that person was really helpful. Someone that I'd really like to have work in my group. Let me go talk to them. And building relationships is critical in business, just like in life and your personal life. I can tell you the first opportunity I got in marketing was really because of someone that I built a relationship with. They happened to be in finance. I was in customer service. I wanted to get into marketing, and I had a relationship with them, and they helped me along the way. They gave me some pointers. They gave me some tips. They spoke well on my behalf. And I can tell you, I still talk to that person today. That's the type of relationship that we have. And this is not only for others in your company, it's outside of your company too. I work with handset manufacturers, from Apple to Samsung to LG, across the board. And I've built relationships with them as well. And also, people you build relationships within the company, they take on other roles outside of the company. And that just kind of continues to build your network. And so building relationships is really important. And the second thing here is develop a team culture. As you move up in the company that you're working for or will eventually work for, you're going to, have responsibility that's deeper and broader, but you'll also have responsibility working with other people and people working for you. And my tip there is always hire the best people, right? Build a diverse team that will really set the tone for what your culture is. And, my culture is, I really want to deliver on results, which we'll talk about third. And to do that, I want to make sure I hire the best people. I want to coach them and have my managers coach them and develop them along the way. Nobody gets anything done as an individual. An individual can drive big projects or key initiatives, but they're not going to get it done by themselves. They need a great team of people surrounding them up, down, and across the organization to really help them be successful. No one is successful as an individual. Everything gets done as a team based on my experience. So building relationships, building a strong team by hiring the best people and coaching and developing them along the way is going to be really critical as you develop your own career. The third thing is, you gotta show results, right? That's the bottom line in business. And so you've got to deliver on your results and your goals and your promises, but always try to do more. Don't just settle for your goal. Always try to take it a step further. And the way you can do that is if someone asks you a question, you can answer that question, or you can anticipate other questions and provide maybe a little bit more insight into something, maybe something that'll help them as they're trying to solve whatever problem they have. And then I say control the controllables. Really, we can get hung up on a lot of things that we can't control, and they can be distractions. They can be distractions along the way. They can sound like excuses, but you can always focus on the things that you can control. The things that you can't control, you want to change, you can influence and talk to others about that. But you can't get too hung up on everything, because then you're going to lose focus and lose sight of really what's most important to you. And that's delivering on whatever results that you and your team have set forth to go do for your company and for yourself. And so that was something that really helped me along the ways. Always push yourself and your team to do more. And you measure against yourself. Like last year results, you're always going to want to do better, right? And then when you think about it, is like some things we just can't imagine achieving, right? But we've got to be bold and think differently and do some things differently. And you'd be amazed. And when you focus on things, what we can accomplish as a team. And that's something I emphasize with my team every year. It seems like our goals are getting more and more tougher, maybe out of reach. And then you reflect on the growth that's happened over the last few years and say, yeah, I believe we can do this, because everybody has to be marching towards the same goal, and they really have to believe that they can achieve those goals. Otherwise, they're going to be, again, distracted along the way. So that was something that really helped me as I was growing through my career with AT&T. The fourth one is equally as important, and that's communicate with clarity and with intention, right? Everybody has a voice, everybody has thoughts, and everybody should bring those thoughts to the table. Don't be shy to share your ideas. Everybody has questions, they just may not be asking it, and then they're not informed as well as they could be because they've held back and haven't asked questions. It's about learning as much as contributing. So you should always share your thoughts and ideas when you're a part of a meeting or discussion or a team. You're part of that meeting, you're part of that discussion for a reason, and it's because you bring something to the table and you want to make sure you share your thoughts and ideas and contribute along the way. And others may have different ideas and perspectives, and that's okay. That's why we're having discussions and meetings to talk about that and ultimately get to the best outcome. But at times, it can sound like everybody has an opinion or a thought and idea. So you should try to ground your thoughts and ideas in facts, right? And data. That should always help drive your insights. And so rather than just having random thoughts or ideas, try to do some backup work, some research to understand the project you're working on or whatever it is. and really say, hey, you know what? I've got this thought based on this, this, and this. It brings a lot more credibility to you, and it proves that you're data driven and looking to get to the right outcome. It could be research driven, what our customers are saying, both external and internal. It could be numbers or actual data on what's worked in the past or what hasn't. But try to ground your thoughts and feedback in facts and data and reality. And that's where analytics really comes into play. And then finally, be crisp and clear. Not only in your verbal communications, we spend a lot of time on slides like this, right? In bringing forth insights and actions in a presentation. And so you should be crisp in your presentation skills, get to the point, have supporting facts. Many executives and coworkers are very busy throughout the day. And I can tell you, if you become too wordy in your presentation, you're going to lose the audience. If you're speaking on something that is not related to your slide, you may lose the audience. And this goes with email as well. We rely heavily on email. And I can tell you, I might get like a 5-paragraph email from someone. And just to be honest, I'm probably not going to read the whole thing. I'll skim and then maybe say, hey, we probably should get together, have a quick conversation. Just because it's too much to try to digest with everything else going on throughout the day. Your communication should be really crisp and clear. Now, you may have another maybe individual situation that requires obviously a much detailed write-up or something like that. But if you're, with an audience and you've got to get to a quick outcome or a quick decision, you want to be really clear. You want to be factual, and you want to get to the point as quick as possible. Give the audience as much background as they need, but give them just enough for them to make the decision or get the outcome that you're looking for. And that's really, really important, especially working with a lot of analytics teams. A lot of people want to try to get all their data and analytics out, but like really a big skill is how you take all that data, quickly digest it, and draw the insights from that. So, your supervisor or your coworkers or executives in the company can drive to the decisions that you're trying to drive them to. And that's really important skill to hone in the corporate world. And the last but not least is 2 important things. Number 1, find your passion. You're going to be doing this more than anything else, right? Every day going into, your career and your job and doing things. You want to feel like you're contributing to the company and driving the company, but you want to be honest with yourself. And what do you really like? What do you love doing? And try to find careers within the companies that can drive towards that, because you're going to have to find passion to really deliver the results and build relationships, as I mentioned. And so if you love marketing, be passionate about it. If you're more of an analytics kind of behind the scenes from a data standpoint, drive the passion in that. If you're more financial, or maybe it's a combination of things. Like for me, I really love, the financial aspects of business. I love the marketing aspects of the business, but what I love most is being able to deliver the results and measure everything we do and see the successes that my team brings forward in all the work they do. And that's why it's important to measure results so you can see what's working and what's not. But that's what I love, is what I shared with you on the page, is bringing it to the market and seeing the customer's response to it, because that's what's most exciting to me. And finally, I mentioned my career is 25 years plus. I hope to have a few more years, but as I'm getting more closer to it, you got to plan for the future. And this is something I try to educate a lot of people on, is, from the very beginning, think about all the company benefits that are provided from 401k to other retirement planning. And I know it's really hard for you all to think about it because it's probably so far away, you can't even imagine. But the sooner you could start planning for that, the better, right? Always put away some savings into your 401k, max that out, understanding the company benefits, making sure you're taking full advantage of that. And I know it may be a challenge. Like, as I thought, man, I can't afford to save this much money and put it aside for the future. But I would say you can't afford not to, right? And so you'll figure out a way to manage your personal budget, but you've got to pay yourself first within your 401k, because that's going to have the opportunity to compound over many, many years and grow by the time you are ready to stop working. Like, I'll be honest with you, I love what I do. I think I found a passion, but I don't want to do it for forever, right? And so I want to plan for my future. And the one thing, if I could have done, maybe planned a little earlier, I could have been in a better situation. But you learn about those things, and hopefully you take advantage of, the great opportunities and benefits that the companies that you all will be working for, like AT&T, offer you with matching of 401k. Make sure you max that out. If you can buy stock in your company, you should do that at a discount, because that'll pay off in the long run. Anything you can do to help pay yourself and plan for your future. I know when you get to the point in your career that I'm in, you'll thank yourself for doing that. And so these are, just high level 5 things that have really helped me along the way. I hope you can take something from it. It may not work for everyone. Each thing may not be right for everyone, but it's something that really worked for me, and I try to share with others. So again, I hope you've taken something away from this, and it'll help you as you build and grow your successful careers, and become the leaders of whatever companies that you all will work for in the future. So with that, I'm happy to open it up for any questions.
Excuse me, can
Thank
I
you,
ask a
Mitch.
question,
That
please?
was awesome.
Yes, I have a question and a comment.
Yes.
I'm Dr. Donald Vest. I'm the chairman of the Marketing and Management Department. I really appreciate your visit and your background and the work that you all are doing at AT&T. So thank you very much. First of all, I really like that you started off about your background at a call center, because I think we have the metaphor in academia a lot, the ivory towers. And so a lot of times, as you know, there's a disconnect between what the customer really wants and what the people at the strategic level are able to deliver on. So first, I like that you articulated the grassroots side of being a strategic player in your career now. And I like to really hear you reiterate that, because a lot of students, a lot of young ambitious people want to start at the top, so to speak. But I think that foundation, I always feel like I feel like everybody in academia should have been a teacher, because that's who we're dealing with, the students. So I really like that. Second of all, I like that you really, and I think today's students, and I think that's going to be a challenge to all companies. How do you hire the student that has that balance between the creative side and the analytical side? Because I see with technology, more and more students are very well balanced. When I was in school, you almost put a person in the category: left brain, right brain, analytic, creative, whatever. So now I hear that you're really able to merge that, first in your career, second of all with the challenge of looking at upcoming leaders. And lastly, I'm not trying to hog the show, but lastly, I like the retention initiative, because a lot of companies, they're on their honeymoon. They treat the new ones better than the existing ones. And the data almost always shows that it's cheaper, so to speak, to keep an existing customer. And then lastly, do you guys do business to business, or are you strictly business to customers? So thank you very much. And I really appreciate everything.
No, thank you, Dr. Vest. I appreciate your comments. I'll add a few things to them. But yeah, I'm proud of starting in the call center and kind of working my way through the organization. I think it's not only helped me from a knowledge standpoint, but to your point, understanding the steps along the way. And as I think about managing my career, I can assure you, I didn't start in the call center and say, I want to be a VP of wireless marketing, right? It was like, I hope I can become a manager in the call center, right? That was my goal. And I became a manager in financial services. And you know what? After I did that, I reset my thinking, and I'm like, you know what? I really would love to get into marketing, right? Because that's my background. And you know what? I got an opportunity to get into marketing as a manager. And then it was like, wow, I'd love to take on more responsibility if I can only get to a director, right? And then ultimately I had that opportunity. And probably by the time I got to director, I started thinking a couple steps ahead. I want to get to assistant vice president, and maybe one day I can get to vice president. So it's not like, again, you start in one place in customer care and then end up as a VP in wireless by accident. There's a lot of steps that happen along the way and a lot of help from people, great people that I've met along the way. So I appreciate that comment, and I think about it and share my story a lot. And I think it's helpful because I was like young and energetic and enthusiastic. I was impatient, right? But you have to be patient sometimes, and you have to grow your experience. And the other point I think you made was really helpful for me is like, I wish everybody could be a teacher before they're, a dean or whatever. Is like almost every role that I've done along the way, I've done the prior role. So I've been in your shoes. I've sat in your seat. I know what it takes. So I can help you a little bit more, but I always try to hire someone to do the job better than I did so I can learn from them. So I really appreciate those comments, and I hope those additional thoughts on my end help. I will say one other thing on the retention front, and it's something that I'm really proud of because we let the data, as you say, speak for itself. A couple of years ago, there's probably no chance that I could have gotten an agreement across the executive all the way up to our board of directors to do the best deals for everyone, including our existing customers. Because on a per customer basis, saving customers is less expensive, but we have a huge base of customers, as you can imagine. So just the upfront investment is quite large, right? But we let the data speak for itself. We showed, here's what customers are saying, and not only what they're saying, but what they're doing. Look at this. If we put this in place, I would bet that we could reduce churn by this much, and it pays for itself over time. And we sold that into the company all the way up to the board of directors. And I'm really proud of the work that the team did there. And I'm really happy that we chose to put the customer first. It's one of our cultural pillars. We said it a lot, just quite honestly speaking, but we didn't always do it. A lot of companies do that, but we really did it. We put the customer first, and it's paying dividends. And we couldn't be more happy about what we're seeing initially. But really appreciate your comments, Dr. Vest.
Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. Is it okay if I ask the question?
Of course.
Hello, I'm sorry, excuse me. My name is Jasmine Peterson. I am currently a graduating senior. I am a business administration major with a concentration in management. And I just wanted to ask if you guys had any remote opportunities in customer service. I did admire the fact that throughout the customers, throughout the presentation, you spoke and said that you started off in a call center, and that is currently, jobs that I am seeking just to get my feet wet, to understand certain things. And I wanted to know if you had any opportunities at the moment for any remote customer service jobs.
Yeah, I mean, there's always opportunities at AT&T. I don't know exactly what openings we have in customer care, but I'm sure that we do. And you mentioned virtual. Nearly every position in the company today, except if you work in a retail store, is virtual. And we even have some virtual sales reps that assist on att.com as customers are trying to buy there. That's obviously impacted from the COVID-19 pandemic situation. But going forward, we're going to have a lot more opportunities virtual nearly across the board, and as many companies will do. Even my team, which was very collaborative within ourselves and across the organization, has really been flexible, as you all have in your schooling, to figure out how we can achieve our results without being in the same room. A lot of Zoom calls like this and WebEx calls like this, but we figured out a way. And so even when vaccinations take place and we're able to get back to the office, excuse me, I'm sure we'll do that. But even myself, I probably won't be in the office 5 days a week, maybe a couple times a week, important meetings, bigger strategic discussions. But we've figured out a way to be flexible and be productive virtually. So we'll have plenty of opportunities, Jasmine, virtually. Absolutely.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you. And I will definitely look into those and apply. Thank you.
Yeah. And congratulations on your senior year and finishing up here soon.
Thank you.
It's a great accomplishment.
Thank you. Have
You're
a great
welcome.
one.
You too.
I just want to echo, what Mitch said. We have lots of opportunities. Please feel free to go to the website, att.com, and look at careers and see what's available. There's also different internship opportunities, development program opportunities that you can sign up to get alerts for. And also, definitely contact Dr. Jester George, Ms. Cook, Dean Udoka. They can get you in contact with me. I'd be happy to talk to you about how to kind of navigate that whole career opportunity.
Okay.
And that's fine.
I just sent you a message. I definitely will contact you after the call. Thank you so much.
No problem. And I mean, that's the point of kind of getting together with you, engaging with you, so you can learn more about our company and the different opportunities. And if there's anything that we can help do to assist you with navigating through that, we're happy to do so.
Thank you so much.
Hello, Mitch. I had a question for you.
Sure.
I've had some. I've missed most of your presentation from trying to log in. Now I'm on my phone. I really truly appreciated all that you said. It somewhat mirrored some of the things that I did in academia before coming in administrator. But one of the things I wanted to know: at what point did you figure out that there was much more for you at AT&T in growth and development? And were there some lateral moves that you made to position yourself to get you where you are right now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So again, starting out, it was a growth industry, wireless. When I started, I got an opportunity to get my foot in the door in customer service, like I mentioned. But I did that for a year, and then I said, wow, this is really interesting. I'm really enjoying this. I do want to do more, right? And so I took a couple lateral positions, even in care. Like I moved over to what we called our VIP group. They handled like the top 10% of our customers back then. And so kind of selectively, again, building relationships, closer relationships with our customers. But I also knew I studied marketing, economics. I wanted to move into the marketing department. So I built relationships there. And as I mentioned, I was fortunate to get an opportunity probably after a couple years and a couple different roles in customer service and financial services. But yeah, I worked in South Florida as the pricing manager. And then I even moved to North Florida. It was a lateral position, right? And then I moved again to Atlanta for another lateral position. Most people at that point thought I was crazy. It was right before we were merging with SBC, and they're like, oh, you're moving to Atlanta, but they're going to move you to Dallas or wherever. And I'm like, well, I really think it's a great opportunity. And it turned out, I was in Atlanta for maybe 6 months, and I got an opportunity after the merger to get promoted to director. And so I took a couple laterals as a manager to build out my experience. Same thing on the director side. I was responsible for business and prepaid pricing. I did that for a little bit, and then I moved over to the consumer side. Same role, but in a broader kind of segment of the business, right? And so I did that, and then I took a lateral to work on a merger transition team, like completely out of my role, just focus on the merger with AT&T Wireless. What are the experiences in marketing? And so those were 2 or 3 laterals there. And then I did a pretty good job apparently on the merger, because I did get a promotional opportunity at that point into a much broader marketing role in the Southeast region as we were splitting up our regional territories. And that was my first kind of true marketing role, all 4 P's of marketing, not just pricing, but all 4 P's. So that was a great opportunity for me. And then I actually took a lateral that was in the region. I took a lateral back to headquarters, right? So between the region and the field and headquarters to do an analytics role. And I felt like I had great experience, and I was building that team up, and I was actually in that role for a long time, even longer than I had anticipated, until I did get another promotional opportunity. So before I got any promotion, I've always taken at least 2 or 3 laterals to get to that next level, because everybody thinks they're prepared, and you're never going to be 100% prepared, but you want to prepare yourself to be successful best as you can. And it's better to learn those experiences along the way As you move up, you take on more responsibility, learn new things. There's a lot of changes that happen along the way at every promotion. So you really want to make sure you're 100% prepared to do that. You're never going to be completely prepared, but as best as you can. So it's a great question. One, again, on flexibility and patience and gaining experience. I was once told the best way to get a promotion is to perform and act like you're already in that next role while you're in your current role. That way, if everybody views you that way, you know you're ready. And because everybody else views you that, when the opportunity comes, you know, you'll be right at the top of the list to be considered.
Thank you.
So hopefully that helps. Thanks,
It
Cheryl.
did. Thank you.
Awesome.
That was awesome. Does anyone else have any? I have a question, but I want to let everybody else have their opportunity.
Levon, you're not allowed to ask questions. Come on. Just kidding.
I've been taking notes. So he's definitely imparting some really, really key points that you definitely want to keep in your pocket as you start your careers.
Excuse me, if I can ask a little bit about your distinction between business to customers versus business, and if you have another division or another segment of your industry or your company that deals particularly with business to business versus business to customer. And I think a lot of the skill sets might be, similar. However, business to business, a bigger a volume, so to speak, and just some other nuances. So can you speak to a little bit about like your business to business versus your business to customer?
Yeah, I think you asked that before. I apologize. I didn't
No,
catch
no
that.
worries.
But
No,
yeah.
not at all. That's one of my favorite
okay.
questions to everybody. So yeah, that's kind of my scripted question. So thank you.
No worries. Yeah, so my team is responsible specifically for consumer.
Okay.
But as you mentioned, there are a lot of carryovers. I have weekly meetings with my counterparts on the business side because there are so much crossover. We have also small business, medium and large side business. We have government accounts. And so we'll deal more with the small business because they buy in our retail consumer channels. So that's really important that we're tightly aligned there. But from a medium, large, upscale business, upstream, business, that is handled by a separate group. They have a similar marketing organization, but the product sets are a little different, a little unique. The buying cycles are a little different, a little bit unique. It's not like one or two or small families. It's like hundreds, if not thousands of lines. And so much longer pricing cycles and buying cycles and different unique pricing. And also custom applications are very important. So the business team has a little bit different focus on applications and product sets versus what the consumer space does. There is some carryover, but there are obviously some unique differences there too. And so a separate group handles that, but we're closely aligned to make sure we don't get, too separated, so to speak, as we go to market.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, good question. Okay, Levon, I guess you're up.
Well, since we have a few more minutes, I was wondering, so, everyone gets your best deal. Can you I know we only have 10 minutes, but can you kind of go from start to finish so people can kind of really see some of your experience in the call center, your experiences in analytics, pricing, how those all really applied to getting this offer out the door?
Yeah. We were challenged to figure out a way to really change the trajectory of what we're seeing from AT&T's standpoint on the wireless business on growth. And we knew that we had to put the customer first, right? So there was a couple things that we wanted to focus on. This industry is very offer driven, and it's huge scale. We're talking millions, tens of millions of customers, right? And so from a price value standpoint, there's a few things that you can do to deliver more price value to the customer, right? There's enhanced features like we offer. HBO Max is a great example, mobile hotspot, unlimited data, enhanced security. Some of those things are great enhanced features, but it is very price competitive, right? We know that the competitors in the landscape in the industry here, T-Mobile is one of them. They recently merged with Sprint. They're the price leader, right? So lowest price. We can argue size of network and different network functionality and things like that, but it's a very price-driven industry. But we feel like our pricing is very, very competitive for the service that we deliver. But we also know, of course, customers, love lower prices, right? And great promotions. But it's also very, very expensive to change our pricing because we did have a policy where we did allow existing customers to move to any new plan that we introduced. So if we introduced a new unlimited plan that was $5 cheaper, everybody, all 70 million customers can move to that tomorrow, right? And you can imagine how expensive that is. And so I used to run the pricing organization knowing that. I'm like, well, that's certainly something we can do, but does that really differentiate us? Because that's another thing, is like differentiation. And so we looked at the other side of the coin, so to speak, and that's of pricing. It's devices now. Devices are becoming much more expensive. They're small computers in your hand. They cost $700, $800, even $1,000. And we finance these devices over 2-3 years now. But we knew that we weren't giving our existing customers the best deal. We also knew that other companies weren't doing that. We also knew it would require a large upfront investment, and not everybody could do that. And we also looked at the competitive landscape and said, okay, if we did this, what would the other guys do? How would they react? Well, without naming names, one just went through a large purchase, right? So they may not have the cash to invest. The other already has a really low churn, so the retention's really good already, and their device upgrade rate was really higher than the industry average, where ours was lower and our churn was a little higher. So we had much more to gain, and if they made the same investment, they wouldn't gain as much. So we tried to look internally, we looked at the external factors, we looked at the strategy behind that, what others would do, how much it would cost. We priced it out, and then we had to come up with, okay, what do we think this is going to deliver? Because the bottom line is, what are we going to get for the return on our investment? And based on the data that we looked at, we knew a large portion of our customers that were leaving us for other competitors were leaving because of other offers. And when we dug into that, an even larger portion of that customer group was leaving specifically because they couldn't get the same deal as a new customer. And we're like, wow, that's pretty interesting and compelling data. So we don't think it's easily matched, but we don't think the competitors will necessarily match it because they're in a different strategic position, right? Our customers are asking for this and no one else in the industry is giving it, right? We know it's expensive, but look at the great results we believe we can get with it. And then partner that with, a huge device launch and a 5G technology change out that's going to drive people to want to change their handsets. We said, wow, it's a risky move. It's bold, but one of our cultural pillars is act fast and be bold. And we felt like this was a real great opportunity for AT&T to differentiate ourselves and really deliver on the other pillar, which is putting our customers first. And again, our customers are speaking, on their own behalf. They really like the offers, and we see it in the results. So at a high level, Levon, it's a great question. I could talk for another hour on that alone, but that was some of the thinking behind it, the strategy, the financials, and then the final piece is like, how do you articulate this to a consumer? Best deals for everyone. New and existing customers get the same great deal. Every word that we put in front of a customer was researched with customers to get the right exact word. Again, we had a lot of internal debate about that. Even at the highest levels, people said, new and existing customers, are people going to really understand that? We felt like that was the best way to explain it. But what we did is we talked to customers. How does this resonate? What makes most sense? And it came back overwhelmingly that they resonated with those words best. And ultimately, that's what led us to our customer facing and go-to-market messaging. So it was all grounded in data, insights, facts, and consumer research. as well as strategic insight and thoughts across the industry. So it's a great question. Hopefully that sheds some light on how we thought about it.
Yep, that is awesome. Thank you so much. I definitely just wanted everyone to get the idea. Marketing is very broad. It touches many things. These are all opportunities at AT&T that we have available. These are the things you should be looking for when you're searching for your career. So thank you so much, Mitch. You were awesome today. I wanted to give Dean Udoka an opportunity to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Levon. Thank you, Mitch, for being here.
Thank you.
Let me first apologize for dropping in late. I'm just coming off the Board of Trustees meeting. So I really enjoyed what I caught of your talk. I try when I'm so late to a presentation not to ask questions that might have been answered already. But I really enjoyed what I hear here. Thank you for spending the time, because this is very, very valuable to our students on the call. And definitely each one of us can take something from this that we apply to our careers. I love what you laid out and how succinct your points are. So thank you so much for doing this. Levon, thank you for coordinating. I appreciate what you do continuously to help our students progress and get ready for the world of work. Thank you both so much. Thank you to all the attendees. I hope you got as much out of this as I did for the short time that I've been here. We appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity and glad to do it.
All right, Camilla, I think that brings us to a close. I think we've